that down, let's move on to this, shall we? We are now just like 8 days away from Captain America, Brave New World hitting theaters. Now, one of the big question marks that people like me have had is, tell me how somebody fights a Hulk. Because, as last time I checked, Anthony Mackie didn't take the super soldier serum. And even with the super soldier serum, you might be able to last a little while. Maybe you can go a couple of rounds with Hulk, but you ain't lasting too long. But Anthony Mackie's character does not have the super soldier serum. So a lot of people, including me at one point, kind of speculated that maybe at some point in Captain America Brave New World, Sam Wilson realizes, to be Cap, I need the super soldier serum. To face the threats that people like me and maybe the Avengers are going to face, I'm going to need to be more than what I am, regardless of the Iron Man suit. And let's face it, the new Falcon outfit is an Iron Man suit. That's all it is. It's just got wings. And so a lot of people, like I said, including me, thought there was a pretty good chance that in this movie at some point, I know a lot of our viewers even wrote in on the show saying he's going to get the super soldier serum this movie. Well, according to Anthony Mackie, that's not going to happen. And he doesn't think Sam's ever going to take the super soldier serum. This comes to us from comicbookmovie.com. Writes, despite that, Mackie doesn't see things changing for him moving forward. Mackie said, yeah, I don't think he will take it, he told the site. I think if you look at Sam is every man's Captain America. So the idea of him just being a regular guy that's been thrust into this position of leadership is something that we all can identify with, something that we can all relate to. So I think it's important for him not to get the serum, because then that takes him out of the realm of the possibility of any of us being Captain America. All right. So when I read those comments, my first thought goes back to The Dark Knight Rises, when, anybody can be Batman sort of thing, which is true. I mean, that's part of Batman's appeal, right? He's just a regular guy who happens to be super rich, who can fight Superman. By the way, side note, on the flight coming back from Toronto, the 6-hour flight coming back from Toronto yesterday, I decided to rewatch Batman versus Superman. Don't know why. You know what?
I don't either.
I still stand by that movie. I still like that movie. I enjoyed it. I was only turned it on just so I could watch the opening scene with Bruce saving the little girl and developing his hate on for Superman, because I think that's the second greatest opening of any superhero movie ever. Only second to X-Men 2 with Nightcrawler attacking the White House. At any rate. But at the end of, or in Batman Dark Knight Rises, they have that whole thing where anybody can be Batman. So I get that. I get the sentiment. But I don't see Captain America that way. Captain America is not anybody can be Captain America, because he's Captain America. And by the way, not anybody can be Sam Wilson. Sam Wilson is a very exceptional individual in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But that aside, I still kind of think that it would be very wise for Sam at some point to get the super soldier serum if he's going to be Captain America. Now, again, I understand his thinking here, and maybe that's the thinking of Marvel and Kevin Feige as a whole. Something to distinguish Sam from Steve. Mm-hmm. And you know what? That's a good argument. Yeah. You want something very clear that Sam isn't just Steve 2.0. He's very different. For example, he wears an Iron Man suit and doesn't have the super soldier serum. I get that argument. I still think if he's going to be a superhero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that can face threats like Red Hulk or something like that, it seems to me he should take it at some point, but who knows? Hey guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, PrizePicks. All right, guys, the biggest football game of the year is almost here. And if you're like me, you're looking for a way to make it even more exciting. And that's why I use PrizePicks, the best place to get daily fantasy action. With over 10 million members, it's the easiest and most fun way to play. Here's how it works. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players' projections, and then boom, you're in. You think Patrick Mahomes will go for more than 250 passing yards? What about Travis Kelce rushing for more than 1.5 touchdowns? Pick your lineup in under 60 seconds and you could win up to 1,000 times your money. Ann and I have both been playing PrizePicks all season. Let me tell you, it has been a lot of fun. This week, I'm rolling with Saquon Barkley rushing for more than 100 yards and at least one touchdown. The best part, even if one of my picks isn't perfect, PrizePicks Flex Play still lets me win. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. So download the app today and use the code Campea to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. Run your game. Chris, 2 questions. Do you think at some point, I mean, Anthony Mackie doesn't think so, but do you think at some point that maybe they will have Sam get the super soldier serum? And then number 2, do you think they should have Sam get the super soldier serum or not? How do you see it?
I don't think that he should ever be given it.
Okay.
At least not this iteration of it. And I don't think he would take it. I feel like this goes against Sam's entire moral compass, honestly. He's seen up close that if you aren't Saint Steve Rogers, what this serum can do to you. Because it amplifies what's already within you, right? That was a concern about who you picked for the first Captain America, too. It's not going to just make them strong. It's also potentially going to fuel their rage if they have it, like we've seen with Walker. He's seen that up close and personal. He's seen what it's done to Bucky. Obviously, Bucky's a very different example because there's also brainwashing and Russian collusion. But he's seen how this works. Also, after meeting Isaiah Bradley, this version of the serum that's available that was experimented on in an incredibly unlawful and dangerous and cruel way on a series of black men, Sam Wilson is not going to take that drug. Especially with all of his work that he does too with veterans who have gone through the atrocities of war. I feel like the way that we have this particular serum right now as it is, it would not be what Sam Wilson would willingly put into his veins. Now, a different version of something, some other MacGuffin pops up, some other thing happens to him that amplifies his powers or gives him something. It's just this particular serum as it stands right now, I don't think he would take.
Infused adamantium.
Boom, there we go.
But not Wolverine.
He's going to go to Tiamat and he's going to go, let's go, make my bones strong.
By the way, I know I harp on this all the time, but I'm really, really hoping my biggest fear, I know other people have different worries, but my personal biggest fear about Captain America Brave New World is, especially from the trailers, and I acknowledge I've been saying this for a long time, I am so over the Marvel Cinematic Universe just becoming about different people with different versions of an Iron Man suit. I mean, we're getting Ironheart, Spider-Man basically. Now they're moving away from it, thankfully, but Spider-Man became Iron Man Jr. with his own Iron Man suit. The Dora Milaje now have Iron Man suits. Who else was there?
Scrap my Hawkeye Iron Man suit idea then, John.
So I'm hoping it's not just all about another suit. I don't know. So maybe that's why, because I think you make some very good arguments, Chris. And
I know I do.
I think you're right. I just want them to move away from everything being, I've got an Iron Man kind of suit and therefore I'm a superhero.
Sure.
It didn't really surprise me though, because in this last TV spot we had, he has that quip where he says to himself, I should have taken that serum.
Yeah.
You know, but like, you know, he's just kind of joking with himself. So
yeah.
That kind of confirms like, nah, he's set. He ain't doing that.
Exactly.
All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Anthony Mackie's saying, hey, if you're going into Captain America Brave New World thinking you're going to see Sam get the super soldier serum, it's not happening. And I don't think it's ever going to happen. How do you feel about that? Do you think that's a good thing to distinguish him from the other Captain America? Do you think he should get it? Do you think something else happens to him? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.